Superman and Lois, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Icon. DC TV is back, baby. Happy DC week, because this is the week where damn near every show comes back except The Flash. And we are kicking it off with Superman and or Lois. And it takes place literally like when the season ended last time. And I'm super excited about it. No pun intended. So now, this episode starts, like I said, it starts where Natalie's pod crashed, and she's looking over, like the show started with a bang. Like I do have to say, like they came out the gate very strong, in my personal opinion. So, like John, he's talking to his daughter, and then she's just like, "Oh my God, Dad, it's you," and like she's hugging him or whatever. And then she turns and sees Lois, and then she's like, "Oh my God, Mom!" And I feel bad for Henry, because he was like literally like he was caught up in the moment. He thought he lost his daughter. Like he saw his daughter and everything. He was happy to have his daughter. Because of that, he forgot. Like he got lost in the moment and he forgot. And then as soon as Natalie sees Lois, and then she's like, "Mom, oh my God, Mom!" And then she starts running towards Lois to embrace her. That's when reality kicked in on Henry. He was like, "Oh snap!" And then he ran and like grabbed her. He was like, "That's not your mama," and then she was just like, "But she's standing right there." He's like, "That ain't your mama," and then he pulled her. Now this is the part that like killed me, because when Henry was talking to Natalie, he was trying to talk her down, and try to explain the situation to her, explain like why they're here, like who that is, why that's not this, that, and the third. And while they're talking, Clark said the right thing. Like, he said to Lois, he was just like, "Yo, you should probably say something," because she thinks, that she thinks you're her mom. And she doesn't understand what's actually going on. He was just like, "You should probably say something." And then this chick walked away. I said, "Oh no." she pulled a Young Justice, episode 1, season 1. Well, episode 2, season 1, when Superman saw Superboy for the first time. Lois straight up dipped. She ain't even give it a second. I was like, damn. like even like the boy, like Jonathan, Jordan, and Clark, they were all like, damn. Like, that's cold shit. And then after that, it takes place like three months later. So now like Henry and Natalie, they've been here for 3 months. And, it's the first day of school. She's getting ready to start school again. And while she's getting ready to start school, like Henry had to have the talk with her, because he was just like, "Listen, we're on a different Earth now." See, and that's another thing. It needs to be explained how she got, like, I'm still waiting for the explanation on how she got here. Why was she in a spaceship? How, what took place during Crisis, which is why she ended up on this Earth, like that whole explanation, like where's she been this whole time, where was she, to the point, like, was she like in Italy somewhere, was she overseas, like, and she was, because I mean, it's obvious whatever rocket ship she was in, she used it to hone in on her dad's suit, because she helped her dad make the suit. So she could track the signal of her dad's suit to find her dad. I just want to know where she's been this whole time up until that point. So once we get the explanation, that'll be good. But anyway, so he sent her to school the first time, and he's just like, "Listen, it's going to be different here, because there are doppelgangers. This is a different Earth. It's a different world. There are people here." He said that your best friends back in school, when on our Earth, they might be here, and they're not going to know you and know who you are, because you never existed on this Earth. And then the whole time she was just giving him like the teenager, like, like attitude, like, "I know Dad, and then she went to school. And then what happened when she came out of school, she was 3 hours late. And then when he picked her up, he was like, "What happened?" And then she was like, "My friend saw me and looked right through me." And I was like, "I told you they weren't going to remember you." Like then she was just like, "Oh," she was like, "I wish I would have died like I was supposed to." And then she was like, on this Earth, she was like, Mom is happy. She has a perfect family, and she's married to Superman. And Henry took from that, he was just like, "That's not your mother," or he was like, that's not your mom. My whole thing was, y'all told her Clark Kent was Superman. Because Superman on her Earth killed her mom. Like, killed her mom. And you just told her that your mom's doppelganger is married to the doppelganger of the man who murdered your mom. I promise you that argument between Natalie and Clark will come up at some point. Natalie, at some point this season, will yell at Clark and tell Clark to his face, "Every time I look at you, all I see is my mom's killer." And I'm sorry, I wouldn't have told her that. But I said, but at this point, they're trying to figure things out because they're living out of his RV. You know, like they don't know anybody. Well, he does, but she doesn't. And like I said, and like Henry, he's in a pretty bad place, and he's trying to figure things out. Lois now, she's been a bitch for the last 3 months, and she's been taking her frustrations out on the entire family. You know, her and I was about to call the girl Lacey, the girl that she does the paper with. They're trying to find, you know, like new people, new reporters. You know, like Lois is shutting everything down. The girl getting mad because she's like, yo, we got to hire somebody. And then, you know, and then she's giving like her sons, you know, like a whole attitude because Jonathan was upset because, you know, he broke his arm twice last season. And, you know, although his arm is healed, the coach isn't putting him back into the game. He's actually on the bench and on the sidelines. So he got upset. You know, he still has that girlfriend from last season. You know, Clark brought him and the girl to the house, and then Clark had to dip to do some Superman business. And then when Lois came home, she caught Jonathan in bed, you know, with the girl. And then now she's mad at Jonathan and she cursed him out. Jordan, well, Sarah, she went to summer camp. She went to summer camp for about a month, and she was a counselor at the summer camp. And when she came back, you know, she hasn't seen Jordan in a month, so Jordan wanted to do something nice for her. And Sarah was kind of acting a little weird about it. And my guess is she slept with some other dude while she was at camp. The whole time she was with Jordan, she was acting weird around Jordan. And then her dad was just like, oh, that's because you're the alpha of the relationship. And Jordan is kind of like a little clingy puppy, and you need to set the ground rules of your relationship and tell him to back off. I don't think it's that, because the thing is, she was acting weird before he even got there. So she can't blame him being clingy. Like, the reason why she got beef with him, it can't be because, like, oh, you're just coming on too strong and you're a little too clingy. She did something. She did something while she was at camp, and she feels guilty about it, and she's trying to push him away now because she doesn't want to own up to what she did. But that's my whole guess. So then Lois, like I said, so Lois got mad at Jonathan for trying to sleep with his girlfriend, and then she took it out on Jordan because she was like, you were out with Sarah all day, and God knows what could have happened. And then she got mad at Clark because she's just like, you're just perfectly fine with our boys just going around having random sex with random girls. And she was like, when we end up grandparents, don't say, like, don't say anything. And then Clark was like, they didn't even do nothing. Like, and then the crazy thing was the ELT, the device that, you know, that is used to call Superman whenever there's like impending doom. She used the device to call him, just so she can talk about the fact that Jonathan was like sleeping with his girlfriend. And he was like, yo, he said, don't be using the ELT for some, for some high school bullshit. And then she got mad at him. And then she was just like, oh, you can go to the Lana party by yourself. And he was like, fine. And I was like, here we go. It's like Black Lightning all over again. So yeah, Lois is up everyone's ass now. And then even the Lang family, like I'm calling them the Lang family, but like even like the Lang family, Lana's role is like, there's this black dude, he's trying to be the mayor now, and she's his campaign manager. And of course her husband's jealous because, you know, he's handsome and he's black and all the ladies love him and everything. So now he's getting jealous. So that's going to be their whole storyline. You know, Clark, you know, he's going through the beef, you know, and everything. And, you know, like then towards the end, Lois ended up coming around a little bit because she finally spoke to Clark and told Clark what was really on her mind. You know, she basically told him, she was like, the problem that I'm having is, she said that when I saw Natalie for the first time and I looked her dead in the face, she said, I know she's not my daughter. I know she was my doppelganger's daughter, but she was like, I didn't feel anything when I saw her. I didn't feel a connection. I didn't feel any sort of love. She was just like, it was just like an empty feeling. And then Clark was like, well, that makes sense because that's not your daughter, you know. But then she got, you know, she was just like, oh, but I know how she feels because, you know, my mom walked out on me and Lucy. And I'm like, we brought up Lucy. We finally brought up Lucy. She said that Lucy and I were abandoned by our mother, and she was like, that's how my mom felt. She didn't feel anything towards us, which is why she was able to leave. And she said I could have at least been there for Natalie and gave her some advice and some encouragement, because she's like, I understand what she's going through. So, and then she was like, I took it out on you and I took it out on the boys. And then she's like, I apologize. And, you know, so that was nice. And then she ended up calling, you know, like Henry, and then she was like, listen, we need to talk. So she rolled up on Henry and Natalie at the local diner, and Natalie wanted nothing to do with her. And then she stormed out, and then Lois went to talk to her. And then she was just like, you know, when I saw you, she was like, I felt bad because I didn't say anything. And then she was just like, oh, so you just came to ease your guilt? She was like, no. But she said that, she's like, I want to get to know you. She's like, I should have said something. I should have been there for you. She was like, I do want you in my life. And then Natalie was like, well, why do you want me in my life when you already got kids? And then she said, because you seem like somebody who I really want to get to know. And so, you know, she's like, she said, I feel like we can benefit from being in each other's life. And at that moment, I kind of wish she would have told her that her daughter died before she even had a chance to live. Because they're in a situation now where Lois's Natalie died in the womb. Natalie's mother died at the hands of Superman. So because you lost your mom and because I lost my Natalie, it makes perfect sense why the two of us can come together and we can be there for each other and support each other. The problem is Natalie doesn't know about the fact that Lois lost her daughter. And I feel like when that conversation comes up later on in the season, Natalie's gonna get mad at Lois because she's gonna be like, oh, you only took me in to fill the void for losing your own child. And that conversation honestly could have been avoided in this moment, but we'll see what happens as time progresses. Lois decided to bring them to the Kent farm because legit the Iron family, they're struggling. Well, they're the Johnson family now, but the Iron Johnson family, they're struggling right now because they don't have a place to live. And I feel like Henry said in last season, he said he was going to go find his sister and talk to his sister. I guess that didn't go over very well, if they still living out of the RV. But because they do need help, and because they have no direction, and because they're trying to find their place in the world. And Natalie does know that her dad dresses up in an iron suit and goes teaming up with Superman. I thought that was funny. Lois said that the two of them are going to live on the Kent farm until they find their own place, which means that Henry's probably going to have to get a government job so he can pay the bills so the two of them could even get an apartment. Natalie's going to live in the house with them, so there's going to be a lot of interaction between her, Jonathan, and Jordan. Her and Lois are going to do some bonding. I guarantee you Natalie's going to end up working for the Gazette. She's going to work for the paper. That's how her and Lois will be able to bond. And until ultimately we have the conversation where she gets mad at Superman for killing her mama. So that was it for that portion. Now to the superhero portion of the show. Throughout the entire episode, Clark was doing the Superman thing. He was saving lives, like he saved a North Korean sub that was drowning. And he's been hearing like these weird sounds, like these high-pitched frequency sounds. He's been hearing these weird like banging sounds, like these earthquake sounds throughout the course of the entire episode. He got into it with the new general because General Lang, he stepped down at the end of last season and this new guy took over. The new guy basically got mad at Superman because he was like, listen, you saved the North Korean sub and you could have at least dropped it on American soil so we could have interrogated them. And he was just like, well, I'm trying to stay out of the politics of it all. And then he was just like, I want your allegiance to the United States. And then Clark said, I can't give you my allegiance to the United States because I pledged my allegiance to the world and I save everybody regardless of who they are. So the general basically took matters into his own hands. And I feel like Project Cadmus is right around the corner because the DEO was secretly stockpiling like their own super people. And this is the perfect moment to bring back Amanda Waller. I'm just saying. Because he told him, he was like, didn't General Lang tell you we have a whole facility full of superpowered people? And since you don't want to work with the government, we're, fine, like, forget you. We'll use our own superpowered people and we'll use them to save the world. And then Clark was just like, well, that's not a good idea because these people that you got, they're not ready. And he was like, yeah, but that's not your call. And he's right, because he was just like, the same way that you can go against America. Well, not against America, but he was like, the same way that you can choose to not team up with the government, we can choose to get superpowered people to team up with the government, and you have no say so in that. And that's true. But Clark made a good point. He was just like, yo, if you're going to stockpile like your own superhero team, that's fine. How you going to have them walking around with my family's S, like my family's crest, the House of L? Like they can't walk around with the House of L. And then he was just like, well, you don't own the letter S. And I'm like, it's not an S, damn it. It's the House of L. So he's going to have people believing that these are like supermen. These are super people. Kryptonians just like him. And there's so many opportunities here to where Kara needs to come back. But so now Superman has to deal with that because he has to deal with the government, stockpiling like these superpowered people. We don't know what their powers are. We don't know what they do, where they come from, how they were created. Are they just random metas or were they government created? But that is very interesting. And I want to see where this goes. And at the end of the episode, like some weird metal arm thing, like punched through like the ground. So I don't know what that's all about. But like I said, we got some good villains. It looks like we got some good super powered villains coming up that can take down the Man of Steel. And there's always going to be like a brain behind it. We need Lex Luthor back on the, we need Lex Luthor from Supergirl on this show ASAP because he needs to be the man responsible for whatever's about to happen. So that was it. And thank you for tuning in. So like I said, Superman and Lois is back, baby. And I'm excited for it. We're getting every DC show back except for The Flash. I guess The Flash isn't coming back till the springtime, Peacemaker starts this week. We're going to review Peacemaker. We're reviewing Naomi, which is a new series. And we're still doing Batwoman. Batwoman is back. Love me some Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. Ask some questions. Share your comments, questions, and or concerns down below in the YouTube section. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, because we talk about everything DC related. We talk about Marvel too. When Marvel TV shows come out, movies, etc., video games, blah, 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 and everything between. So this is where you want to be if you want to get your fix of some DC TV. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So Up, Up, and Away is back, baby. And until next time for some Superman and Lois, take care. And I'm out this bitch.